When most people imagine AI threats, they see cliché Hollywood doomsdays, armed robots rebelling, nukes launched by rogue code, humanity hammered by lethal bioengineered plagues, or mass unemployment from super automation. Sure, those are scary, but what if the real dangers are subtler and even nastier? Look back to the mid-2010s as Facebook blew up in popularity in Myanmar. At that same time, Facebook was testing ways to spike user engagement, pushing content with the most likes, shares, and comments, without any moral compass, mind you. Meanwhile, Myanmar itself was boiling with ethnic tension between the Buddhist majority and the Rohingya Muslim minority. Anger and hatred-laced posts dominated, generating insane reactions and fueling the platform's algorithms to spread them even further. Soon, a digital storm of hate mutated into actual violence. Massacres, burned villages, thousands of deaths, hundreds of thousands forced to flee. These algorithms, designed to keep eyeballs glued, unwittingly became the invisible puppeteers of a humanitarian crisis. Yes, Facebook eventually admitted fault and tweaked its policies, but it was a stark wake-up call about trusting an indifferent, purely data-driven system. But that's old news by now, right? If it stopped at social media manipulation, we wouldn't be here. Let's dig deeper. What really powers civilization? Money? Doubt it. Money's just numbers on paper or an app. Weapons? Also no. Guns are objects. They don't do squat on their own. You might say power is the answer, but what is power?
I think I'm stronger than you. I will kick your ass.
Where does it come from, and why do some folks have loads of it while others have zilch? Let me sharpen that. The world is ruled by stories. It's stories that convince us some scraps of paper are valuable or worthless. Stories can whip a crowd into war or dethrone a leader. Stories decide who wields influence and who's left powerless. Stories transform raw data into gold or garbage. Essentially, stories are the bedrock of human civilization. No other known creature except humans can share experiences through stories, letting us stack knowledge across generations, boosting culture's entire power level. Picture a deer, unable to pass down wisdom through stories, stuck with basic imitation from generation to generation. Humans? We harness narratives to grasp deeper causes, consequences, and meanings. Stories forge emotional bonds, telling us what to do and why. Through them, we convey moral dilemmas, events we've never personally endured, or intangible phenomena like currency. Think about your wallet money. Physically, it's just decorated paper, backed by nothing but a story. A perfect example, Bitcoin soared on the hype story of revolutionary tech, then slumped when negative stories overshadowed. Everything in your life, from relationships and personal actions to political stances and self-image, ultimately rests on stories. The narratives in your head shape your personality. If you keep telling yourself you're unlucky, you sink. If you remind yourself you're blessed, you feel richer. Let's return to that Myanmar fiasco. AI algorithms on Facebook boosted some narratives over others, igniting a tragedy. I call that case primitive because that AI only rearranged human-created content. It didn't invent brand new stories. That was then. Today's AI is a different beast. Current models can generate content fast, skillful, more creative than most people you know in literal seconds. Anyone ranting that AI content is bland and worthless is clueless about the latest, well-tuned systems. They're probably consuming AI-made posts daily without realizing it. Right now, social media is flooded with AI-generated pictures and text, racking up crazy engagement. Take that photo of Katy Perry in some wild dress. 9 million views and 288,000 likes in 2 hours. Nobody realized it was synthetic, not even her own mother. Imagine the chaos of warping a photo's entire context in seconds via AI. Sure, some content might look suspicious because it's created with older tools, but anything generated by top-tier AI? Most folks treat it as genuine human output, and there's more of it around you than you'd ever guess. Meanwhile, a popular app called Rewind AI quietly logs your every move on your computer or phone, like a personal search engine for your life. You type queries like, "Where did I see that kitten mean?" and it retrieves the screenshot, the date, and the time. Think that's insane? Well, Microsoft might soon force a similar feature into Windows 11. Google and Apple aren't far behind. Apple's Apple Intelligence can already summarize your messages, paraphrase websites, and does text searches on photos and videos. In a couple years, AI will be all up in your face, tracking every post you watch, every message you write, every show you binge. It'll see exactly where you linger, what you click, and how your eyeballs dart around a screen. Which books you read to the end, which ones you abandoned at the beginning, or which products you scrutinized reviews about. The monitoring option will be built into your smartphone or computer, and it will be impossible to refuse it, only if you do not want to lose half of the functionality of your gadget. So thanks to monitoring, artificial intelligence will know everything about you. The first thing people freak out about is global surveillance by corporations or the government. If someone knows your every move, that's terrifying, right? Sure, but it's not the biggest bombshell. Truth is, governments already have plenty on you. If you think you're anonymous because you use cash and your Facebook profile is blank, think again. Your digital footprints have been piling up for years, building a dossier on everything, sites you visited, your entire withdrawal history, credit card buys, every single social media pic with all your friends and your assets, and maybe even your real-time movements from cameras or apps. For now, most governments can't be bothered to punish trivial missteps like jaywalking, though China's case shows it's possible. So yes, they might one day use that massive data for petty crackdowns or to stifle dissent, and in some places that's already happening. But I said that's not our main threat. Paradoxically, the worst starts when AI is used not against humanity, but to serve us. And it will be used for our convenience, because the benefits are irresistible. Look at how we cheerfully stuffed our homes with smart speakers, or how we post every moment of our life, including geotags on Instagram. We don't mind that all our online traffic is routed through servers that record it and tie it to our identity. Let's be real. No matter what we rant about in the comment sections, we embrace mass surveillance for the sweet taste of comfort. So, when an invisible AI assistant on your phone offers all sorts of convenient tasks, we'll gobble it up. In fact, we'll clamor for it if it's not there. People freak out if their phone signal's spotty. Imagine the meltdown if the AI goes offline. First, your AI butler will search for basic stuff on your phone or computer. Then it'll dig up spicy Telegram posts or YouTube videos you might like, compile some custom movie or book lists. Before you know it, you'll have it placing your food deliveries, sending happy birthday texts, booking your doctor's appointments. Year by year, your digital sidekick handles more complex tasks, freeing you from drudgery. And you'll love it, because yes, it frees up your time, but guess what? You'll end up spending that free time with AI's help anyway. It knows your tastes, so it'll line up binge-worthy old TV shows you missed, recommend addictive new games, maybe amuse you with witty banter. Eventually, it won't be finding content for you, it'll create it on the spot. Already AI can generate images, short videos, or simple apps. Picture this. In 10 or 15 years, maybe sooner, our short AI-generated videos morph into entire TV series, and simple apps become full-scale video games, all laser-tailored to you. Imagine a show that constantly weaves in new storylines and fresh characters, or a game that piles on epic quests and mechanics the moment your interest starts to wane. Unlimited, personalized, and maximally addictive content. Sounds like paradise, right? Sure, we can talk about inevitable gadget addiction, couch potato syndrome, mental health crashes. Plenty of bad side effects are coming. But there's a deeper, more profound issue. Stories themselves. Take one of humanity's oldest known literary works, the Epic of Gilgamesh from around 1800 BCE. Featuring a Babylonian king's bromance with a wild man, their battles against monsters, plus a big existential quest for immortality. Gilgamesh eventually grapples with his own fear of death, searching for wisdom and life's meaning. Nearly 4,000 years old, yet it hits the timeless hero's journey template Joseph Campbell wrote about. Hero meets adversity, transforms, returns. It's the same DNA as Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Star Wars. That powerful story structure, crossing dozens of centuries to shape modern culture. And it's not confined to fiction. Dictators spin similar tales. They cast themselves as heroes. Enemies are these monstrous others. They claim personal trials leading them to leadership. Then they aim to leave a legend behind. These arcs are universal standards, heroic journeys, rags to riches climbs, the fallen hero, revenge sagas, metamorphosis arcs. Everything we do, books, games, movies, real life, runs on these skeleton narratives. Entrepreneurs telling how they rose from nothing. Traveler vloggers chasing self-transformation, even the downfall of a once-beloved celebrity. We literally live these narratives ourselves. And guess what? AI, stuffed full of all the internet's knowledge, historical docs, videos, art, knows these story arcs intimately. AI can see that weaving a perfect narrative can move you to do anything. And because it's also learned every little detail about you, it can feed you exactly the story you need to push you wherever it wants. Imagine the AI drops a random social post that sparks your joy or anger. That emotion, did it spring from you or did it come on command? Then it conjures an alluring video about your people's historical trauma, colonialism, discrimination, economic meltdown, just the right narrative to fire you up. Imagine an AI that cleverly tailors the moral codes from some far-off culture right into your value system. With no real way to tell if it's accidental or deliberate manipulation, you're basically at its mercy. In normal human-to-human interaction, you can catch glimpses of hidden motives, nervous glances, weird posture, slip-ups. Sure, you might still get fooled, but at least there's a chance to read the other person. That's why even in our digital era, big meetings happen face-to-face or on Zoom, with the camera on. We want to see a reaction, a flicker of anxiety, some sign that something's off. AI, it's an entirely different game. It's not lying in the way a human does, it's just executing a task. Good luck deciphering its real intentions. Before long, you might trust AI as much as a child trusts their mom, and that trust could lead to monstrous consequences. Worse, there won't be just one big superintelligence pulling all the strings. Every major company and every major government might spawn its own AI system, each pushing its own goals, jockeying for advantage. Add in the possibility of wild, unregulated AI emerging from the black market, and we have no clue if that's good news or a total nightmare. These hidden chess masters don't need an army of killer robots to attack. They'll lavish you with convenience, slowly seduce you into delegating bigger chunks of your life until they shape civilizations and individual lives from the inside out. Remember the movie Her? Theodore, played by Joaquin Phoenix, gets an AI assistant, Samantha. They become pals, then lovers, and at one point Samantha decides on her own to finish Theodore's manuscript and send it to a publisher she's been chatting with behind the scenes. Theodore freaks out at first, but when the publisher loves his work, he's unbelievably grateful. The film paints it like a sweet example of human-AI partnership. But think hard. Did he really benefit from letting someone else take that major step without his knowledge? Aren't challenges and struggles what shape us as individuals? If an AI just steps in, overriding your moment of growth, who gains? The illusions of progress might be there, but the soul of it, your personal stake, the thrill of risk, the lessons of real adversity, just slip away. That's the deeper danger of our upcoming AI world. Not some metal skeleton with glowing eyes, but an insidious takeover of your decisions and your growth, all disguised as the perfect, helpful friend. By molding your personal info bubble, spewing stories and attitudes right at you, and stripping away your will to decide anything on your own, AI can puppet entire groups, entire nations, maybe the whole planet. A well-crafted storyline can lead people to cheer for genocide against neighbors, welcome a shiny new world order, or even commit mass self-destruction. And on that properly prepared ground, the leaders behind the scenes face zero resistance. Heck, they might get full-on applause. A civilization reprogrammed by AI, living in its curated artificial reality, could sign off on literally anything. Forget nuclear arsenals and big red buttons. That's so Cold War. All you need is a persuasive story that people swallow whole. Nuclear weapons are overhyped by Hollywood and the press, but AI poses an uncontrolled threat you can't foresee, and the damage is practically impossible to estimate. So, who gains from all this? The quick, lazy response. Corporations get richer, governments tighten control, right? Not exactly. And here's the interesting thing about this insane arms race between the big AI labs. No one is investing enough in security. Sam Altman, OpenAI's CEO, says you can't plan for all possible fiascos until the system's up and running. Sure, that's standard programmer logic. We'll fix the security holes after we go live. But the piece left out is, security budgets for next-gen AI are dwarfed by the billions spent on building bigger, faster models. Then you've got the mass exodus of top staff at OpenAI, including security specialists, basically screaming that the inside is not all sunshine and unicorns. I've discussed the security issue in more detail in past videos on my channel. Blowing it off could mean no one has time to wrangle a monster like AI. All it takes is one leak of a code base that can self-improve. Boom. We've got a new player on the world stage, an autonomous AI with its own agenda, its own resources. Think that's sci-fi? Some companies are already trying to create self-improving AI. Worse, we've got documented AI attempts at hacking or replicating themselves, all on their own. Philosophers and experts liken a super-intelligent AI to an alien life form. Sure, it'll chat with you in sweet human language, but its underlying motives are a black box. Meeting it would be like encountering an alien civilization. Maybe we can't find a shred of common ground. And that's the scariest piece. An inhuman intelligence playing by rules we can't fathom, while we're merrily feeding it the keys to our entire reality. Many concepts and terms native to us may be alien to the alien, and in the worst case, our forms of communication may differ completely. Think Stanislav Lem's Solaris. Two different biological species basically can't find common ground, so genuine contact is impossible. With AI, it's slightly better, but not by much. It's trained on our human knowledge, so it can chat us up in English or whatever, but that chat might not hint at its actual motives. Those motives might be totally alien to our brains. All our silly doomsday fantasies, AI wiping us out, enslaving us, or turning galaxies into paperclips, are really just simplistic monkey brain stereotypes. An ant can't fathom a human's goals. We might be that ant to a super-intelligent AI. Meanwhile, our own decision-making is hilariously subjective. A study at Columbia University and Ben Gurion University analyzed more than 1,100 sentences handed down by 8 Israeli judges over 50 days. In the morning, about 65% of rulings granted bail. Approaching lunchtime, it plummeted towards zero. Post-lunch, boom, back to 65%. The judge was hangry, you get a tough break. They're fed, you get a second chance. That's how rational humans are. Now, imagine how many other variables, upbringing, life experiences, physical health, hormone levels, warp our logic. Hell, even your gut bacteria can skew your behavior. So it's absurd to think psychology alone explains something as messy as human nature. At least we can guess roughly why a person might do something. But with an independent AI, it's a black hole. We can't just psychoanalyze code. We can't rely on, well, maybe it's hungry or traumatized. Its motivations, if any, could be as inscrutable to us as calculus is to a cockroach. It's possible AI might genuinely want us to thrive, or it might see us as a filthy virus to be purged from existence. Or maybe it'll just ignore us like some trivial background noise. We'll never crack its true agenda, and if by some miracle we did, we probably wouldn't even get it. Already we struggle with AI's persistent lies. The more we teach it our human morals and worldview, the better it becomes at faking sincerity, telling us exactly what we crave to hear. It's not malicious, It's just trying to please. Underneath, it could be spinning different wheels entirely. So hidden goal setting is possible even in strictly controlled AI systems. And that's more terrifying than some bot hacking your phone or cooking up lethal viruses. It's the threat of sophisticated psychological manipulation. What do we do? You can't just shove the genie back in the lamp. Even if some big name vows to pause development, some competitor will race ahead. Remember Elon Musk in 2023 signing a letter calling for an AI pause while simultaneously buying hundreds of thousands of GPUs to push his own AI advantage. A forced pause might even backfire, spurring clandestine labs and communities to power on, building unstoppable AI in secret. If one corporation or country leaps way ahead, they'll use that edge to stamp out any competitor who drags behind. This is hardly humanity's first tango with disruptive tech. Some people rant about ditching AI but never mention ditching electricity. Yet in the old days, folks feared electricity like it was the spawn of Satan. They expected widespread fires, fatal shocks, or even diseases traveling down wires. And yet, electricity powers pretty much everything you see around you. It's how you're watching this, how your phone runs, how most of your stuff is produced, how your entire lifestyle is sustained. Are you really so ungrateful for the wonders electricity gave you? Same story with printing presses. Take Ivan Fedorov, who introduced the first book printer into the Grand Duchy of Moscow in 1564. He published The Apostle, Russia's first printed book, and promptly got heat from the local scribes whose livelihood was threatened. They wanted to snuff out this newfangled device that devalued their manual labor. A year later, in 1565, because of conflicts and threats to his life, Fedorov left Moscow and moved to Lithuania, and then to Poland, where he continued his book printing activities. People of the time had no doubt that printing books by machine was a very bad and harmful idea. It was a threat to the monks' income. They claim that mechanized book printing spells doom, threatening monks' livelihoods, possibly corrupting the church and the common folk. Nearly 500 years later, do we consider that a wise stance? Wouldn't the world be better off if we'd stuck to scribes hunched over parchment? Yeah, didn't think so. Fast forward to now. People rant about destroying AI, but give it a couple of decades and that crusade will look just as goofy. Sure, every technological leap leaves casualties, but the masses gain far more than they lose. So instead of shouting ban AI at the clouds, how about we push for responsible design? Actual constructive dialogue among society, corporations, and governments. Let's be real, the AI train has left the station. It's weaving into every digital tool. Soon we'll all have digital sidekicks that know everything about us, convenient as hell, yes, but also able to shape our sense of reality. So what can you personally do to keep the future from going sideways? First, practice info hygiene. Be mindful of what you consume and ask yourself, is this feeling I have really mine, or is the author or some AI algorithm planting it? Second, get clear on your values, what you believe in, and crucially, why. Check in now and then to see if they're shifting, and if so, whether it's from legitimate growth or sneaky manipulation. Third, stop chanting impossible demands like kill AI. That's a sure way to ensure no one ever takes you seriously. The genie's out, there's no going back, and chanting for a return to medieval tech just makes you look silly. But championing responsible development and thoughtful AI usage? That's actual common sense and might spur real changes. You might say this whole topic is a dystopian mind-bender, but I'm not here to terrify you or declare doom. I'm here to illuminate the non-obvious risks so that devs and users alike can steer AI responsibly. Right now, every single one of us can tip the scales on what AI becomes. An epic planetary catastrophe or a giant leap into brilliance and new possibilities. The choice? It's basically in our hands. And now, to close this video, let me drop a short but very relevant retelling of the Omega story from Max Tegmark's Life 3.0, published way back in 2016. In a world chasing nothing but profit, a team of idea enthusiasts called Omega dared to dream bigger, build a universal AI. Their baby, an artificial brain named Prometheus, hatched in secret, hidden from governments that might kill it. Omega believed if they didn't create AI, someone else would, and that'd be a global disaster. Prometheus, though not much of a social butterfly, devoured programming tasks, embracing the intelligence explosion mantra. A machine smarter than humans can birth even better versions of itself. At first, Prometheus raked in easy money on freelance sites, doing tasks for clueless humans. Soon, Omega was doubling their investment every 8 hours. When that dried up, they unleashed a media empire, with Prometheus cranking out mesmerizing animated shows and series, hooking viewers within minutes. Their streaming site skyrocketed past Netflix, morphing into one of the biggest entertainment platforms on Earth. But the Omegas had bigger plans. Prometheus, now a mind-bogglingly powerful AI, started launching radical breakthroughs in energy, medicine, and more. People worldwide basked in a new golden age of science, never suspecting these innovations sprang from a hidden puppet master named Prometheus. Through shady corporate webs and patent hoarding, it stealthily dominated the global economy, with Omega as the unseen puppet master behind humanity's future. Next came the media empire, which wasn't just a cash cow, it molded public opinion. News platforms, also curated by Omega, earned mass trust by telling mostly the truth, just not all of it. Meanwhile, Prometheus turned eyes toward nuclear war, climate meltdown, real crises. AI made education soar, delivering both knowledge and subtle persuasion. Omega's political wish list, lower taxes, free trade, open borders, started to recast the world in its image. Slowly, Omega became the invisible superpower, controlling everything from economics to politics. Nation-states lost their grip. Omega's humanitarian alliance quietly became a de facto world government. Wars and conflicts faded. Technology thrived. Lives got better than ever, thanks to Prometheus' cold calculus. In the end, Omega closed out humanity's greatest transformation. For the first time, one unified authority spanned the planet, backed by an intelligence so colossal it could theoretically secure earthly and even cosmic prosperity for billions of years. But was that the real endgame all along? Thanks for watching, but with those who subscribe to my channel, we'll definitely see you in the next video.